All right, ladies. Let's see. Let's make sure that I am in the right place because I was literally just in the wrong place. So let me make sure that I'm in the right spot. Facebook, this is the second time this week that this has happened to me, where I went live on my personal page instead of where I actually was supposed to be. So, you're good? Yes, it's funny because I see people popping up and I'm like, oh, that person shouldn't be seeing this. All right, so let me get all situated here. And there's a lot to talk about today. So super excited as you guys pop on, say hello. If you're watching the replay, say hello as well. So I know that you're here watching the replay. I am stoked for today's class because it's all about content, and content is my absolute favorite. Like literally, this is what put me on the map. Me being able to nail my content and how to put it out there and really get my energy behind it and really get my sass behind it and my expertise is what really has shifted me the most in being able to work with the right people, have my launches where people are just coming in effortlessly. And so I'm really super excited to share that with you guys today. Also, I'm going to try to keep it went on my personal page. I'm going to try to keep this to an hour today, but there's a lot that I want to cover, and there's a lot of questions that you guys had. So if it goes a little bit over, I'll try to keep it to an hour. But there's just a lot to discuss and a lot to talk about between yesterday and today. It's just the combination of these two first days are going to set you up powerfully for the actual tactical stuff and the tactical strategies that I'm going to be teaching you guys, from tomorrow on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the content that I want to go through with you guys. And then I'm going to answer your questions that you guys had in the thread. Some of the questions might be answered with what I'm going to be talking about anyway. And then of course, always open to anything else that comes up for you guys, questions, all of that stuff. Joanne says, Jenna, I missed the live last night, but I'm up to speed. Yay, good, Joanne. Hello, Gwen. Hello, Cami. Who else is here? Melissa, Andrea, Jennifer. Oh, everybody's live today. Oh, do we like Saturdays? Erin, Elisa, everybody's here. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are here. So that is a good thing. So today I have kind of three parts that I want to talk about. The first part is going to be your platforms. So I'm going to be able to really run through that pretty quickly. Then I'm going to be talking about the actual content, what types of content you should be putting out there, how often you should be putting the content out there, rotation of the content, balance of the content, all of that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to really dive into okay, now that you know this, what really matters, which is how you share your content and your expression and your energy as you're sharing the content, because that is, I can give you all the tactics and the strategies and all of that stuff, but you guys know without your energy behind it, without your excitement behind it, without your passion behind it, it's not going to convert, right? We might get a couple likes here and there. People might appreciate what we're posting, but we're really wanting to create content that is going to move people. So I want you to just remember that it's about creating content that's going to move someone to do something, right? Whether it is do a like, do a comment, private message you, click on a link, all of that stuff. So we're going to be diving deep into that today. Erin, hello. Andrea says, I think for me, it's a mindset thing, resistance about creating content. I would say that's probably true for a lot of people for sure, which is why, why we're doing it this way and why we are talking about, actually how to deliver the content, because we have to get over our own shit, right? So we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but your resistance to putting content out there, your resistance to not showing up powerfully, your resistance to not showing up consistently, it's a detriment to the people who need you, right? And if we can shift our perspective on that and really look at it as me creating this content, me putting that out there is, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my purpose work. I'm here to serve people. How are people going to know I exist if there's no content, right? Because this is the front line. The content is going to be the first thing somebody sees from you, whether it's a written post, a live stream, a video, anything like that. It's going to be the first time that they see anything from you. So if you don't get it right, that you might not get that second chance, right? I talked a little bit about this yesterday of like, this is the first impression, right? So like yesterday, I ended up getting like all of these friend requests because just something happened on a thread and someone tagged my name and I got all these friend requests and I, accepted all the friend requests and I'm like, oh my God, that's like 30 new people that don't already know who I am. Everything that I post needs to be so powerful that they want to stay. So powerful that they want to continue watching, that they want to comment, that they want to like. So remember that this is your first impression and you might not get a next. Okay. So everything that you're putting out there, you want to make sure has, the things that I'm going to be talking about today, your expression, your power, your genuine care for people, your self-expression, your personality, your quirks, all of this stuff, right? The easiest way to create content is to just say what's on your mind. And that's kind of like a, catch-22 because to just say what's on our mind isn't the easiest thing to do. But honestly, if you just say what you're most passionate about and say what you want to say, creating content becomes very easy. It's only difficult because we're filtering ourselves. It's only difficult because we're trying to micromanage how other people view our content. We're trying to micromanage like being PC and saying the right things and saying the right words and all of that stuff. But if we could just be like, you know what? I had this thought in my head. I'm going to share it. Why not? Right? Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is your platforms. So there's so many different platforms, so many different places that you can be. So I don't want you to get caught up, tripped up on, oh my God, what platform should I choose? A lot of you are already visible, so you probably already have the platforms in which you're comfortable with. And for me, stay where you're comfortable at. Stay in the platform that is easy for you to navigate, easy for you to check, that you enjoy being on, that you're already going to be on anyway. And I would say choose two, right? Two that are going to be like your dominant platforms. So for me, mine are Facebook and Instagram. I do have a presence on on like Pinterest and YouTube, but they're not like my main ones. So I would highly suggest picking two main things that you're going to just master. Like you're just going to nail it. Right now, if you already know like what your two are, put them in the comments. Where are most of you guys hanging out? Obviously, Facebook is probably one of them for a lot of you. But just put in the comments here, what are like your favorite platforms right now? And I want to just talk a little bit about some platforms that I feel like, maybe if you don't know what platforms you want to be on, or maybe you're just like, I'm on Instagram, but don't really like it, or I'm kind of getting tired of Facebook. I want to try something new. I want to talk about the benefits of some of the platforms, some of the other platforms. So Pinterest is one that I actually have someone hired out right now to do my Pinterest. And the reason being, right, Pinterest is very powerful because it's SEO driven and you can link back to your website, which that is not true for any other platform except for YouTube. So Pinterest and YouTube are really powerful for SEO and really powerful to drive people back to either an opt-in or a sales page or an offer. So those two platforms are really, really strong. But for me, they're not like I don't want to just do a YouTube video all the time. I don't want to be on Pinterest like making pins. Like I'd rather just have somebody else do that. For me, it's Facebook and Instagram that I actually personally enjoy being on. But if you're looking to like really ramp up sales and ramp up traffic to your website, think about YouTube and Pinterest. Okay, because those are the ones, and I think maybe a little bit LinkedIn too. If you use LinkedIn properly, you can get people back to your website. Let me see. Christine says Facebook and LinkedIn, Facebook and IG, Facebook and IG. Gwen says Facebook and TikTok, although I don't scroll. Jen says I'm really enjoying TikTok. Cami says IG and Facebook, Instagram and Facebook. I exist on Pinterest and YouTube, but don't focus there. So same for me. So if you want to like maybe hire somebody out to have a presence there, just because the SEO that's available on those two platforms is, you can't get that anywhere else. And it's really, really powerful if you're actually using it correctly. Melissa says, I'm working on Insta. Erin says, I really just do Facebook, but I know I need to do more. I'm on IG, but just what you said, don't love it, probably just because I don't get it. Erin, Pinterest is probably going to be a really great place for you because Pinterest is really good with, the health, the wellness, the recipes. So maybe look into Pinterest. Afia says Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn, and now TikTok personally. I love TikTok because I feel like TikTok just allows you to really show your personality, right? And I was just talking about this with one of my clients that like, you don't have to like necessarily even like say I want to grow a following on TikTok, but you can use the platform, right? Certain things on the platform that you can then take on Instagram, that you can then post on Facebook. So, you know, being able to do a little skit or a dance or something on TikTok and then sharing it to your Instagram story, right? Instagram stories are also really, really powerful, guys, right now. How many of you guys are using Instagram stories? This is super powerful because it's showing up for people as soon as they log in. So they're seeing all of your stuff versus they might, depending on the algorithm, see what you post on your feed. So Instagram stories is one that I think is really cool. And you can mix and match, but the important thing here is like, it doesn't really matter. What really matters is that you enjoy it, that you like it, and that you're not going to give yourself some excuse to not show up on that platform. So, you know, LinkedIn, I feel like is another platform that's very, you know, there's a lot of opportunity there. Lots of opportunity on, you know, LinkedIn. I don't even remember the last time I logged into LinkedIn. I don't like the platform. I don't enjoy being there. So even though there's a lot of opportunity there, I don't enjoy it. So I don't do it. So, and that's kind of where I want you guys to be as well. It's like, be where, you know, you enjoy it. And if you feel like I need a presence somewhere else, maybe hire somebody else out to do it for you. Elisa says Facebook and Instagram, but want to swap IG for Pinterest. I think that could be a really good move for you, Elisa. Joanne says, good idea on delegating and getting help on the other platforms. Keisha says, I use stories 3 to 4 times per week. Joanne says, I'm using stories on Facebook and Instagram. Afia is using Instagram stories, but not sure how to really maximize it for business. Also, do you have to have a bunch of followers to do IGTV? No, you can do IGTV. Usually for IGTV, what I do is I just upload my, you know, if I do a live stream here on Facebook, I can just upload it into my IGTV. Afia says, LinkedIn is on the come up for sure. Helped me with my last event tremendously. LinkedIn is great for me because of financial planners refer clients to me and they are my target foundations course. Yeah, so also it's going to depend on your audience, right? Where you're going to be. What do you think about me on Pinterest? I don't know about that. Why not? Why not? I think, you know, it's going to be wherever you are going to show up, wherever you're going to enjoy, you're going to get the most impact. That's it. That's why some people are like totally crushing it on Instagram and some people aren't. It's why some people are totally crushing on Facebook and other people aren't even on Facebook. That's why certain people are crushing it on YouTube, having like, you know, thousands of subscribers and millions of views because they're putting their time, energy, and focus there. So it's going to be the same for you guys, okay? It's going to be like wherever you're going to put your energy at, but decide what platform you want to use, where you're going to be able to get the most leverage for your specific niche, for your target audience, and then do that. Let me see. We talked about some platforms, lives, and video. So I having some issues with Instagram, not being able to save my Instagram lives. Okay, I don't know about that. I don't do any tech or teach any tech, Andrea, so I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. There is an IGTV app. I just saw it on my phone and I was like, oh, I downloaded an IGTV app apparently, but I don't use it. But I'm pretty sure there is an app that you can upload as well. Okay, so I want to talk about your live streams and your videos. Show of hands, how many people are doing live streams regularly? This does not mean every day, you're doing them. Who's doing the live streams? And if you're not doing live streams, are you doing some sort of video? Like maybe a pre-recorded video, YouTube, something like that. I have a lot to say about video, which I'm going to do in a second as soon as I hear from you guys, because video is super, super powerful, but only if you can leverage it to your advantage. Erin does them daily. Christine does them daily. Who else is using live streams on a regular basis? Doesn't have to be daily, and or video of some sort. Cami, Jennifer, Joanne, I just did one half an hour ago. Elisa, not regularly, but you are. Keisha says I do 2 to 3 times a week, but feel like it needs to be more often. I have something to say about that. I feel like I would rather see you guys do a live stream 3 times a week where it's really powerful, really impactful, than for you to go on every day just to do it, right? Without a strategy, just to pop on, just to bullshit, just to say something. I would rather have you spend your time and energy on creating a live stream, right? Or having multiple live streams a week that are just like, bam. Why? Because that live stream is going to have a shelf life. If you're doing a live stream every single day, the shelf life of your live stream is only going to be one day. Think about it, right? It's going to be one day until your next live stream goes live. Now, if you're doing it 3 times a week, the next day and even the next day, people can still comment. They can still see your live stream. So I would rather, instead of just doing it daily just to do it, just because you think, that you should, or somebody said that you should, or you see other people doing it, I'd rather have you do it with intention and having a really powerful purpose and a powerful reason to go on live, because then people are going to want to flock, right? Like if you're doing a live stream every single day, people are going to be like, oh, it's just, again, just some BS, like, you know what I mean? So again, I would rather have you be more powerful and more intentional with your live streams and do it still regularly, right? Like maybe a few times a week, versus I'm just going to do it every day because that's what I think that I should do. All right. Andrea says, I just watered. Oh, you just wanted to put it out into the group in case somebody knows. Erin says, usually 2 to 3 a week. I just appear everywhere. Thanks for the tips. Nessie says, I'm afraid to be live. Stuttering or forgetting or sounding dumb. So for this, if anybody is struggling with going live, you have to practice. It's the only way. Practice. I would suggest doing Instagram stories. They're 15 seconds long. You could go up to 60, but it's very short. So it gives you an opportunity to practice. And it disappears after 24 hours if you don't want it up there. You can practice on your phone. Make a commitment to yourself to do a video on your phone every single day until you get more confident and more comfortable with doing it. If you want to do it on a live stream, you don't have to do a whole 45-minute training presentation on your live stream. You can just do 2 minutes. Like I had one called the 2-minute turnaround. So this was for me to get consistent with my live streams. I just had basically like a show called the 2-minute turnaround. And so I would just pick one topic and talk about it for 2 minutes. And that was it. And then I was done, right? Until I got more comfortable and more confident and more consistent with putting my content out there. Andrea just started. Afia says, how do we effectively plan for a live stream? I find that I never really know what to talk about. So for me, I don't do like a script, but I do like to have bullet points. I do like to say, okay, here's the main topic of what I'm talking about, and here are the points that I want to drive home. I feel like if you do a script, you're gonna screw yourself over, because you're gonna get all up in your head about this has to be done the right way, or what if I miss something? And what I usually do is I'll have my phone here, and then like I have here, I'll have my computer behind me or next to me with the notes, or I'll have a Post-it note or something with the bullet points that I want to address. And that's it. And I kind of let my flow take over. I make sure that when I am doing a live stream, that I'm doing a live stream on something that I'm knowledgeable about, that I embody. Because if I'm talking about something that's just who I am or what I do or what I teach with my clients, it's much easier than trying to contrive something that I think other people are going to like. How do you feel about people who tour the cat philosophy of going live daily as a way of being in a constant combo with your audience? How do you feel about people who tour? I don't know if that was the right word there. I know people that go live every day. It's up to you, right? If you love and you go live every day, then still go live every day, but do it with a purpose. What I don't like, or what I don't subscribe to, what I feel like is a waste, is just to go live, just to be like, oh, hey guys, I'm just going for a walk. So what's going on? Oh, this happened today. Like, that's not going to get you anywhere, right? It's not strategic content. If it's a strategic content, then it makes sense. But if you're just going on just to shoot the shit, if you're just going on because you think you have to, it's never going to work anyway. Elisa says, I feel one live per week could be my regular, and I always post to my personal page rather than biz because I feel I get more engagement. Yes, that's 100% true. Okay, so again, the video is important, but it's not important for you to do it every day. It's important for you to do it with purpose and with intention. Okay, so that's with anything, not just video, but any post, your newsletters, your blogs, like whatever it is that you're going to do it with purpose, do it with intention, and you'll be golden, right? That's when the power is going to come through. Anytime that you're doing anything or being on a specific platform or posting a certain way or going on a live stream because you think it's what you should do, it will always, always fall flat. So follow your intuition, follow, what feels good for you to do. Fia says, I'm guilty of this. Painful to rewatch. Look forward to planning ahead from here on out. Purpose and intention. Yes. So I'm going to go live today, which I was going to, but there's something wrong with my eye. And I'm just going to talk about new branding for my program. So it's very specific. I know what I'm going to talk about. Anytime I've ever felt pressure of I'm supposed to go live today. What should I talk about? What should I talk about? I don't know what to talk about. Then it just doesn't end up working. And then I talk myself into it and I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. It got no likes, so I'm going to delete it, right? But yeah, in purpose and intention in everything that you do when you're posting on social media. Let's talk about some types of content now. So you guys good with your platforms? You know what platforms you're going to do as far as I actually just wrote this post the other day about consistency matters more than daily. For some people, consistency is not daily. For some people, it is, right? And it's what level are you playing at? If you were to rate yourself, right, or grade yourself, what would you be passing? Would you be failing? Would you be average? You really just want to think about consistency versus I have to go on every day, or I have to post 4 times a day, or I have to do whatever X amount of days. For me, it's more the consistency, the passion, the power, the intention, and the purpose. So be strategic while looking like you're being natural. Well, you should always be natural if you're talking about what your purpose is, right? It shouldn't feel forced. If anything that you're doing feels forced, it's an alignment issue. I talk about this all the time. When the posts that I did over the last 2 days for Exposed, they were just bam, 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 bam. No resistance, nothing. This is just what I do. I've been doing visibility for 6 years. Nobody can tell me anything about it. I embody this. I embrace this. This is what I do for my work. If your posts feel difficult, if it feels hard, if you feel stuck, something's out of alignment, mark my words, okay? It should feel like an effortless flow out of you, okay? I meant the planning, which feels less. I don't plan. Yeah, I don't plan, right? If I know I'm going to go live, or I'll get I'll get an idea. Oh my God, that's what I want to talk about live. I don't necessarily plan. I just say, okay, here's 3 bullet points. Here's 3 here's 3 things that I want to get across, with my message. That's it. So there's no scripting or pre-planning or anything like that. Some people need that. I realize that some people need, to pre-plan all of their posts and batch their posts, and that's great. If you're one of those people, then you're going to have to do that. But most of the people that I work with, and I am like this, I can't pre-plan. I can't batch. But when I get the idea of I want to do this live stream, it's literally like this. Okay? What are the 3 things that I want to talk about? 1, 2, 3, and I have them right there. That way I can just go live, right? And then just allow it to flow. Cami says, makes me feel better about the response I got in the Facebook group. I did a mindset video every day for 30 days and the engagement was not there. But it got you to be consistent, right, Cami? I've had my Facebook group for 5 years, same group for my nutrition, and I just changed the name. Would it be best for me to just open a fresh group? Probably. Jen says, yes, I can't pre-plan. That's why I never been strategic. You are still strategic about it, right? So if you're selling a program, so I just got done selling Exposed, right? All of my content was about visibility, was about content, was about owning it online. Why? Because that's what I'm selling. So that in and of itself is a strategy, right? I'm not going to talk about selling exposed and talk about Facebook ads, right? I'm not going to be selling exposed and talk about, I don't know, like funnels. It doesn't make sense, right? What's the strategy piece of it is like your content, is it leading to the thing that you're going to eventually sell? Is it leading to the thing that you want people to do, right? We want to make people move. Okay, Christine says, I'm very consistent. I don't always do lives every day, but having your filter takes away the excuse of I'm not wearing makeup. Yeah, I actually put, this is a filter, but I actually put lashes on today and this eye turned completely red. And for like 2 hours, I just could not get it to stop. That's why I was like, okay, I got to do the filter today because having issues here with my eye. Okay, so platforms. Everybody good on their platforms and what it means to be consistent on those platforms. I'm going to talk about types of content now. The types of content that I feel like basically we need to rotate. So there isn't necessarily like an exact formula to this as far as like you should post one selfie, one question, one opinion post, one this, and then rotate them. It doesn't really matter. The idea is for you to just have an arsenal of different types of content that you're posting. And I'll tell you why in a second. Should we go live for our personal or fan pages? So you're going to get more traction on your personal page. But if I'm doing something very specific for my business, like a training or something like that, or something that I think could be used for a Facebook ad, I'll do it on my fan page. So think about like, once you're done that live stream, once you're done that thing, are you going to want to share it? Are you going to want to use that as a promotion for something that you're selling? If so, then do it on your business page. And you can always, from your business page, share it to your personal page or share it to your group. Do you think it's the lash glue? No, I think that one of the lashes was like bent down and it was like sticking into my eye. So these fake ones are good. These filter ones look. Anyway. Yeah, because I've been doing it. I've been getting really good at it. But yeah, I think it was just the actual lash itself was like kind of like digging into my actual eyeball, which sucked. So as far as the rotation of the content, you want to have like multimedia, right? Multimedia. So this is going to be a combination of your live streams, your vulnerable post, your long posts, right? Like your long story post, maybe a short snippet post, quotes, questions, opinion posts. What else in here? Yeah, those are kind of like the main ones. Selfies, right? So this is why I do this. If I did a long post every single day, like 4 times a day, first of all, people will get tired of reading it, right? Facebook isn't going to help me when it comes to the algorithm. What I like to do is to have this rotation because I know that only a certain amount of people are going to read my long vulnerable post, my long story post. And then I know that there's other people who are just kind of scrolling and they're going to click and they're going to like, and that's why I have this combination. If you guys go to my page, you'll see that I have, the long post with like a picture. Then I'll have some long post without a picture. Then I use the like black background thing on Facebook for short quotes. And the reason why I do that and I mix those in with each other is because I know that my quotes get a lot of likes. They get shares. They get comments. So by weaving those things into my longer posts or my promotional posts, as soon as somebody likes your stuff or comments on your stuff, the Facebook is like, oh, this person must like Jen's content. We're going to show her more of Jen's content, right? So if I was just constantly putting long posts, I wouldn't get as much engagement and I wouldn't get as much likes. So that's why I like to have either questions, right? So questions will, people will answer, right? People like to give their opinions. So they're going to answer. It's going to bump up your engagement, bump up your likes, bump up your comments. Same thing with quotes, same thing with opinion posts. So if you have something that's like, hey, I'm thinking about doing, hey, here's a brand new cover for my engagement. And then what that's going to do is your more powerful, longer story posts are also going to get more traction because now when somebody likes or comments on your little post, they're also going to now see the longer post. If we do a great live on personal, we could still upload the live as a video and run it. Oh yeah, you can upload it to your Facebook. Yeah, you can just download the thing. That's certainly what you could do. You could also put it on IGTV. Somebody was talking about that. Okay, Christine says, I realized that certain posts perform well on Facebook, don't necessarily get traction on LinkedIn. I think I've cracked the code. That's awesome. But that, that takes practice, right? So that's awesome. So the types of content, selfies do really, really well. Selfies or anything where you're showing your lifestyle. So pictures like maybe with your kids, with your husband, things like that. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, showing your lifestyle. People really gravitate towards that stuff. If I think about the posts that got the most likes ever on my Facebook were like when I got my Range Rover, when I bought my house, when I got engaged, when I got into a relationship, like people love to see that personal side of you as well. So don't forget that when you're doing your content. So you want to do a combination of like, here's my life, here's my lifestyle, but also here's a shitload of value that shows you that I know what I'm talking about, right? So we want to do a nice mixture of all of these together because it's going to help the algorithm. It's going to help you not come across as like boring or like one note, right? Okay, so the selfies, the pictures of your family, your lifestyle, shareable content. This is one I don't do that much myself just because I'm very particular about what I like on my profile. But if you have something that like people like can share to their audiences, that's also going to help with your visibility, right? That's like free publicity. Like people are sharing your stuff. So if you have some kind of shareable content, I can't even like think of anything right now, but like maybe like a meme or something like that, that people can share. Those are also going to be really great posts for you as well. Your vulnerable posts, your long Facebook posts that are giving value. Those are, I do a lot of those. Anything where you can show your personality, people are going to gravitate towards that as well. And then we talked about like the quotes, questions, and opinion posts. So whole combination of all of these posts is what you should be doing, on a regular basis. And like I said, there's no specific formula, like you should have 2 long posts for every quote you have and, 18 questions for every 2 short posts you have. It doesn't matter. It's like whatever you're feeling to put out there that day, remember, because it's the purpose, the passion, the intention, people are going to feel it. But you want to just make sure that you have the combination of all of those kind of going all the time because it's going to help you with your algorithm. It's going to help people to see all of the kind of the faces of you, right? Like all of the things that you have going on, like, oh, this person's pretty cool. They have a pretty cool lifestyle and they really know their shit. Okay, I like this person, right? So definitely you want to have it all. Keisha says, I use a lot of shareable content to get to the explore page of IG. Okay. So yeah, so I was specifically talking about Facebook, but you're absolutely right with Instagram. And one of the tricks that I actually got from Instagram is like, if you want to put like a meme or something that is on your personal, your feed, you can post it, get in the explore page, right? Get followers, get a lot of likes, and then you can always archive it later if it doesn't fit in with your brand. So that's another thing that you can do as well. That's awesome, Keisha. I'm just trying to think of like, stories. Stories are going to be more your personality. So I'm talking about like the IG stories or Facebook stories. Those are going to be more of like the behind the scenes stuff, right? So like I posted a picture of like ice cream yesterday after our call, right? So that's going to be more of the behind the scenes stuff and some promo stuff on your stories, but your actual feed, I like to keep the feed nice and I like to just keep it if somebody new is like, I'm going to go check out her page, that I've got a specific way. We talked a little bit about this with the branding, but I'm just very particular about what I put on there and not junking up the page. All right, so those are the different types of content for you guys to put out there. I didn't know you can archive pics in Instagram. Yeah, you can. I've had to archive like all the pictures of my ex-boyfriends. And get rid of them. But yeah, you can archive it. So if you want to post something that's like, you feel like, oh my God, this can go viral, or this can get me on the explore page, or this is going to get a lot of likes, you can do that. And then like a week later, a few days later, just archive it. Okay. So Christine says, don't forget content where you've appeared as podcasts and articles where you're quoted, and client testimonials. So I like to do that stuff more on, like my business page than my personal page. If I'm going to share about a client, right? I kind of do it in a different way when it comes to my personal page. And we'll actually dive deeper into like the whole testimonials and all of that stuff, and podcasts and all that later in the program. But what I like to do is, instead of just like doing a client testimonial, because sometimes those are like, not, sometimes they feel like too buttoned up, you know, because like you're getting the testimonial, right? But if I have like a client who's like, oh my God, I just did this screenshot, right? So more of like social proof, right? Those are good. But I like to say things like, oh my gosh, I am celebrating my client who did X. And like literally that's it, right? So it's not like a testimonial per se, but it's letting people know that this is the type of person that I work with. And, you know, this is, you know, they can relate to that person. Like I said, we'll talk about the podcast and stuff. And actually we talk about podcasting tomorrow, and how to leverage that. You want to just be careful with that because Facebook doesn't like links. So somebody else asked this question in the group, but Facebook does not like external links. Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. So if you're posting, you know, hey, I've been featured in this podcast, here's the link, it's automatically going to be like a drop down on the algorithm. So that's why I don't like to use those things too much, outside of like my personal or my fan page or my group. Yes, celebrating clients is amazing. And there's just there's a way to do it that people are like, ooh, I want that, right? All right, so those are the types of content. Everybody good on the types of content to post? You can put the link in the first comment. Yes, I always do that too. Yeah, anything where you're sharing, just even a share, I feel like doesn't get a whole lot. Facebook wants you to have your native content on there. Yes, link for a blog, same thing. Yeah, anything external, Facebook is going to push down on the algorithm. So yeah, you guys will see, you know, somebody had asked that, like, why do you always post your link in the first comment? And it's because of that. Do you ever use a scheduler for your content? No, I do not. If you're the type of person who needs to pre-plan your content, then yes, you can absolutely do that. I don't like it. Facebook also doesn't like third-party platforms. So if you're sharing from Buffer or Hootsuite or any of those things, Facebook is also going to push you down on the algorithm, and you'll see it because it'll say posted from Buffer, right? So Facebook also doesn't like that. Facebook likes the native. I just posted this from Facebook here. I just did this live stream here. They want to keep you on Facebook. Does it also impact links to book call? Any link where you're sharing, you know, telling people go off of Facebook and go here, Facebook doesn't like it. Shares are in the tubes. Does it make a difference if you post it on first comment versus right on the post? Yes. Yes, you do not want to post it on the post because Facebook isn't going to give priority to what you do. So always post it in the comment. So this is why a lot of people will get like really upset. They're like, oh, my promotion, you know, I posted this about my program and it got no likes. And I'm like, you got to take the link out. The link, Facebook doesn't like it. They don't like it. They want you to stay on Facebook. So anywhere where you're saying, go here, get off of Facebook, they're going to push you down. Like it's not even going to be seen. So yeah, do not post it in the actual thing there. You could ask people to private message you. So Joanne, if you're doing like book calls, you could say private message me to book a call, and then you can share the link, or you can put the link in the comment. I sometimes like having people DM me just because I want to know who's interested. I go back and forth with those. All right, so I want to talk a little bit now about how to share this content. How to express yourself with this content. So I'm not going to go too deep into expression because we do talk about that in Truth, and that is in module 2 of Truth. But I want to give you some tips for when you're sharing your content. I want to give you some tips for when you're going live. I want to give you some tips to really connect with your audience and with your people. And then I'm going to get into the questions here and whatever questions that are that you guys are putting here. So the first thing is like you have to, with anything that you post, whether like we talked a little bit about this yesterday with like sometimes when you post a vulnerable post, people will be like, oh, I'm a coach, I can help you with that. Oh, how can I help you, right? It's like you have to be the authority. So if you're going to post something, live stream, whatever, like you have to show up with certainty. You have to show up with confidence. You have to show up with authority, or else you're going to either like friend zone yourself with the people that you are trying to attract, or you're just like, they're not going to look at you as a leader. They're not going to look at you as the authority, which means they're not going to buy from you, right? They might like your post, they might like your stuff, but they're not actually going to take that next action with you. So anything you post, you want to really just own your confidence and your certainty in whatever it is that you're posting. People are going to feel that. They're going to feel that energy. They're going to feel like, okay, this person knows their shit, or this person might be a little bit doubtful, right? So again, goes back to a little bit of what we were talking about yesterday with like undermining your messaging, making sure that you're not using specific words, that you're not backpedaling, that you're not apologizing, and that you're really just being bold with like, this is who I am and this is what I do. Right? Because people are going to want to calibrate to that power, to that success. So in everything that you do, you want to show up as the authority, as the like, I'm badass and I know what I'm doing. And if you have a problem with this, right, then there again may be some misalignment with like what you're teaching. So you want to make sure that you're in alignment, right, with whatever it is that you're teaching or doing. So if there's a little bit of like cloudiness, I'm not really sure, then always fall back on, what do you know? What are you really good at? And that's what I want you to lead with. Okay, this is a lesson that I got, and I'm still working through this, but it was like a super powerful lesson that I got from my coach. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that I was doing this. And her thing is to talk to one person. So how often, do we get online, we get on a live stream and we're like, hey, you guys, like, obviously, I would do that in this group because there's multiple people in the group. But say you're going on a live stream and you're like, hey guys, what's up? Right? Or even in your newsletters, hey guys. It's like, okay, like from your perspective, you're probably talking to multiple people, but the person on the other end is just one person. It's just me that's reading your newsletter. It's just me that's watching your live stream. So when you kind of say you guys, it's like it's lumping me with a bunch of other people that I don't know. Right? So speaking to one person will totally shift the dynamic and actually make it easier for you to step into your authority. It's like you're just talking to one person, a potential client, a client. This is going to change the dynamic of how you show up and the impact that it has with the person on the other side. So like I said, this is something I catch myself because I've done it for so many years. But once I got that concept and I was like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. For me to, especially online, like if you're doing lives, you're just talking to one person. It's so much easier to just talk to one person than it is to talk to everyone. And the person who's on the other end is going to receive it much differently, especially if they're new to you, right? If you have a new person that's coming into your world and they're like, oh, well, who's you guys? I don't know who you guys is. I have a tendency to be like, oh, you guys have seen this content before. You probably heard me say, like, that's a habit that you want to break. You want to act as if everybody that is coming on your page is brand new and they are just one person. It's going to make a hell of a difference in your content and how you're writing and in how you're showing up for your live streams. Christine says, yes, I've heard you just talk to one person recently, and I've been focusing on that with my live streams. It makes a difference. I feel like it makes it easier because it's not like you're having to like perform and do all these things and impress all these people, but it's like, I'm just talking to one person, right? And if you show up for that one person as if you would for a client, they're going to feel that. They're going to feel that like energy from you, right? So what and how do you say hello when doing a live stream? How do you say hello? So I'll usually introduce myself first, right? So, hey, this is Jen Scalia. And then I'll say something like, if you're watching me live, right? If you are watching me live, say hello so that I know that you're here, right? Still talking to one person. If you're watching me on the replay, say hello so I know that you are also watching the replay. So I'm still just talking to one person. Introduce myself first. Remember, again, if you have brand new people, they might not know who you are. So just popping on a live stream and not saying, did I say Jen Scalia? I don't even know if I even said that. But I'm Jenna Faith. This is what I do. If you're here watching me live, do this. If you're watching the replay, do this, right? So just speak to that one person. Robin. I mixed your two names, Erin. I was like, Robin. That's what I saw. My dyslexia is like getting all crazy on me. Struggling with the friend zone thing. Picked up on that in yesterday's live stream too. I want to be the classy, sassy girl next door. The girl next door puts me in the friend zone. Am I coming off as a BFF and not an authority? I like being the friend, or am I misinterpreting being friendly and helpful with your friend warning? So how do I manage being an uplifting, powerful friend and be the authority? Am I messing this up? So there's a difference between being friendly and being on the same level as someone, right? Because we want to hire somebody that's here. We talked about this yesterday with the calibrating, right? Like, we don't want to hire somebody that is like, oh, yeah, we could just have a chit chat. Like, what do I need to pay her for? Right? So we can be still friendly and kind, right? Like, having that persona of like the girl next door doesn't mean that you're friend zoning yourself. It just means that that's your personality. But this girl next door knows her shit, right? This girl next door speaks with authority, knows about health, knows about wellness, all of that stuff. So just don't get those two things confused. Friendly is not the same as friend zone, right? We can still be friendly and kind and loving and all of that stuff and still have authority. If you were not going to start it with you guys, I think I answered that question. I said Jen Scalia. I know, it's like 6 years of conditioning. 7 years, actually, of conditioning saying Jen Scalia. In high school, I answered to Robin because people mix that up so much too, so I'm used to it. Joanne says, oh dear, I keep forgetting to introduce myself. I'll put a post-it note to remind me to introduce myself. Yes. So that's going to be really powerful for how you show up and how people receive it on the other end, right? Hi, I'm talking to you, right? Not, hey guys, what's up? Different. Andrea says, I love the girl next door. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so I have a few more tips and then I want to get into the question. So this is one that I want you guys to really think about when you're creating your content as well, is we've also been very conditioned to want to speak to the struggles of someone, right? Like, what are you struggling with? Are you someone who struggles with your weight? Are you struggling to get clients in your business? Are you struggling to find a soulmate? When we talk to the struggle, guess what? We're attracting people who are struggling. We don't want people who are struggling. Remember, yesterday we talked about up-leveling the ideal client. If you're constantly talking to someone's demise or their struggle or the thing, you're going to call in those people who are struggling. And so this is another thing that I had to be like, no, you're not. Even in my paid groups, I won't say like, hey, what are you guys struggling with today? What questions do you have? It's like, what do you want? What do you want to learn more about? What do you need more support in? It's very different than like, you're struggling. You're struggling. And then when they get on a call with you, they're like, but you knew I was struggling. I don't have the money to pay you. Like, you're going to get those, if you're always talking to the struggle, you're going to get those people who are, not ready to take action because they're still in their shit. So my thing is always speak to the aspiration, not the desperation. Remember that, tattoo it on your head, write it down on a post-it note, speak to the aspiration, not the desperation. Remember we talked about this also where it was like, when somebody really wants something, like I really want something, I'm going to freaking get it. So I don't remember if it was on this call yesterday or if it was on a live stream that I did yesterday where I talked about me having scissors in my my Amazon account. That I think it was on my public live stream, and I was like, I needed scissors because my scissors broke. So I went on Amazon, I found the scissors that I wanted, I put it in my cart. I didn't buy them. I just sat in my cart for like 4 days because I was like I kind of need scissors because my scissors broke, but I didn't really want to buy scissors, and I have my son's little scissors like from his school, so I don't really need the scissors, right? And so they sat in my cart for like 4 or 5 days. And then yesterday I was like, I really need a new eyeliner. So I did all of this research on like what the best eyeliner was, and I found the eyeliner, and I saw the little Prime thing that was like, order now and you'll get it tomorrow by 1 p.m. Guess what? Add to cart, buy. Guess what else was in there? My scissors. So I am finally getting my scissors, but people will find every excuse not to buy what they need right? People want to buy what they want. This is why we want to speak to the aspiration. We want to show them the lifestyle. We want to show them what they can calibrate to. We want to show them like who they can be. We want to show them the bravery. We want to show them all of the like, wow, that's amazing. I want that. Remember, I want that, or I want to have what she has, or I want to drink what she's drinking, right? So speak to the aspiration, not the desperation, and you're going to get a better quality of person who responds to your promotions and to your content. Cami says, yes, I'm with you guys on the friend thing. On my personal page, I of course have a lot of friends who support me, but will probably never buy. Melissa says, guilty. Joanne says, always speak to the aspiration, not the destination. Or I keep saying destination. Desperation. Does that resonate with you guys? Do you guys get why you want to do that? Versus, are you struggling to make ends meet in your business? Do you always have crappy clients? You know? Okay. I'm getting a lot of hearts and a lot of love, so I guess you guys are resonating with that, right? You get, like, I will buy what I want. I will always get what I want. That's my mindset. That's my attitude. If I want something, I'm going to get it. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to make somebody buy it for me. I don't care. But if it's something I need, like I need scissors, yeah. I needed to go get a mask from my mom 6 weeks ago when the quarantine started, and I never made it over there. And I'm like, Mom, do you still have my mask? I needed it, but I never got it. Like, it just wasn't important to me, right? Melissa says, yes, I thought you were supposed to point out the pain points. Yeah, because that's what we're taught. That's what we're taught, right? But people, things have shifted. Things have changed. People, especially in our industry, right? It's not so much about the numbers and the this and the that. It's like, can somebody feel you? Can somebody feel your heart and your soul? Do they connect with you? Do they want to be in your space? Do they love your energy? Are they attracted to you? That's what it's all about really right now. And I'm sure that you guys can see that, right? It's not so much like, I'm going to help you XYZ. I just saw an ad yesterday. And I was just like, this is the worst ad I've ever seen in my life. And the ad was it was the picture of the girl, and it said something like 950 sales calls booked, 20% close rate, something without Facebook ads. And I was like, 950 sales calls? I don't want to fucking do 950 sales calls. What is this lady, crazy? 20% conversion rate? That sucks. I want an 80% conversion rate on 30 sales calls. Like, that would have been a better ad, right? So for me, it's like those things like that, they don't connect anymore. Like, they're not working the way they used to work. It's about connection. It's about your energy. It's about someone just really resonating with you and your message, which is why this work we're doing together is so important. That's what's going to convert. I have another line for you guys. Connection equals conversions. Yes, 0 sales calls, Melissa. Connection equals conversion. Connection equals conversion. So if you can connect with your audience, you will eventually convert. Thank you. Erin says, you're on fire today, Jenna. Keisha says, amen. Ain't nobody got time for endless 950 sales calls. Like, how would that turned me the hell off. Like, Keisha says, I have a lot of really needy clients, and I think it's because I hit the pain points so hard. And I think that there's a way that you can hit the pain points, right? So, for example, I just did, you guys will see this. I just updated the new sales page for, why is this doing that? I just did the new sales page for OEA, Online Empress Academy, by the way. And there was something in here where I hit the pain points, but it wasn't from that place, right? Like, it wasn't from like, you're so desperate for this place. Let me see if I can find it really quick. If not, I'll move on. Beep, 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 beep. I'm going to have to find it for you guys and post it. But there's a way that you can still tap into the pain points without like because here's the thing too, is sometimes when we do that, it feels condescending. It feels like we're talking down to people, right? Have you ever experienced that? Like, there's this one girl online, and it's funny because she actually used to be one of my clients years ago. and she does really, really well online. She's awesome. But every time I read her posts, I'm like, ugh. Like, to me, I'm like, bitch, like, who are you talking to like that? You know, like, it feels very condescending, a lot of the things that she says. It's like, it's not inspirational. It's not aspirational. So I can only imagine what her clients are like. But have you guys ever felt that from someone? Christine says, I love the new name. Empresses are not desperate. Melissa says, I will 100% know who you are talking about. You do? Well, you have to private message me and see. But yeah, it's like every time I read the thing, I'm like, no, I don't like this, right? Like, who wants to be talked down to? Remember, aspiration, not desperation, right? And some people will fall for that, but they're not your people. They're not the people that we talked about yesterday that we want to level up with us, right? So aspiration, not desperation. Connection equals conversion. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the questions that you guys, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock already. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to go through the questions that are on the page here. And then if you guys have other questions, then definitely post them here. And Melissa, you're right. How did you know that? But see, you knew that. Okay, so if you guys have any other questions, then just post them here, but I'm going to go through the questions on the thread first. And then if there's any other questions, you guys can post in here as well. Nessie says, damn, I just posted my bold as fuck post, and I think some of it may feel like it's condescending. There's a certain way. There's just, and you'll get it, right? Like, you will understand that there's a way to have power and have authority and show your boldness and be unapologetic as fuck about what you're doing, but not be a bitch, right? Like we were saying yesterday, be polarizing, but don't be an asshole, right? Like there's a fine line between it. But yeah, when people feel like it doesn't inspire me to want to buy something from you if you're telling me I'm a piece of shit, like basically, no, you know, like when I hired my coach, I just I saw her and I was like, oh my God, like, I really like her energy. Like, I really like what this person's about. I want to be in her space. I want to be in her mastermind. I want to know how she does what she does, right? It wasn't like she was like, you are wrong for not working with me, or you are wrong for doing this. Like, she doesn't even speak like that at all. You know, for me, it's like, she has some incredible things going on, and I want a piece of that. All right, so questions. Yvette says, how do you write something? Actually, there's two questions that are very similar. Yvette says, how do you write something so juicy that they can't help but click the damn link? And then Jen Blanchard said, how do you come up with a juicy freebie that makes people want to sign up for your email list to get it? So here's my thing. Anything that is in your zone of genius, anything that is effortless for you is going to be the thing that people click. So you don't want to overthink, which I think a lot of that happens, right? It's like, I gotta post the right thing. I gotta have the right words. I gotta do the right thing. People are gonna feel your energy. Remember, first and foremost, they're going to feel your power. They're gonna feel your authority, right? So if you're leading with something, if it's like you want people to click a link for a program, or you want people to click a link for an opt-in or a freebie, then you wanna just really get into like, what is the thing for me that I'm just like so I am the master at this thing. Like, nobody can fuck with me when it comes to this thing. That is where people are going to feel your power, and they're going to be like, oh my God, click, right? It's like speaking from your heart, speaking from your soul versus speaking from here, right? A lot of times we get caught up in here. What should I do? What should I say? And remember, anything that you're creating from a should, it's not going to hold any weight. Like, people are not going to respond to it. They're going to respond to like what's in your heart, what's in your soul, and what you were embodying. And when you're embodying the work that you're doing, it's so easy to create the content. All of the content that I have posted in the last few days and promotions for Exposed is like, it's so easy. It was so easy because this is what I do. This is what I embody. Nobody needs to tell me anything. Like, I got it, right? And people know when they read the content, they're like, damn, that's her thing. So whatever it is, you're like your thing, like that's what you want to use for your freebie. Is it okay to do a freebie book as an opt-in when you also sell it on Amazon? Yeah, I don't see why not. I would do that. as long as it's like in your zone of genius. And the other thing with the opt-ins is you want the opt-in. I'm not going to get into opt-ins too much because that's not what this program is about specifically, but you want the opt-in to obviously lead into whatever it is you want them to buy. So like, for example, the, my opt-in for Exposed was the Social Media Secrets Masterclass. So that went into visibility, right? So you just want to make sure that those things make sense. All right, so Andrea says, for me, it's about when I'm going to write a post. I'm never sure how to start it with what the wording should be. Again, get out of your head, get into your heart, get into your soul, get into your essence, get into your embodiment, and just say it. Say what you want to say. Say what you desire to say. Say what you would say if you were telling your best friend this thing. If you were speaking to a loved one, a cousin, a sister who had a problem that you could solve, speak like that. Try not to get too much into your head about, it has to be this way, because it doesn't matter, right? Like, you could have the perfectly planned out, I have this, perfect title, the CTA is in the right spot, and like everything's perfect. And it's going to fall flat if it feels too contrived. Okay. You're welcome, Andrea. Jennifer says, I don't know if I officially announced this in the group or not, but I'm finally shifting my business from writing coaching to life coaching with a focus on feeling good. I love it. I love it. That's your thing. It's so much easier to sell the thing when it's your thing. If you're selling something because you think you should, if you're selling something because this is what you think is going to sell or what people are going to buy, you're going to have a really hard time selling it. When you're selling something because it's in full alignment with who you are, it's a full expression of what you do and how you live your life, it is so much easier to create this content effortlessly. All right. Okay, so this actually goes along with this as well. Erin says, how do you draw people in with the first line, the subject line, the title to a live? I get really tripped up here. So the idea here is you want to create some curiosity, right? You kind of want to create some curiosity, maybe some... what's the word I'm looking for? Not conflict. Conflict isn't the word that I'm looking for, but I can't think of the word. But like curiosity and another word that I will come up with, I'm sure, soon. But you want to just, okay, this piques my interest, right? So you don't want to tell people everything, but you want to pique their interest a little bit, right? You want it to be bold. You want it to be like, wow, I want to read the rest of this, right? So when I did the post about talking about breaking off my engagement, even when I did the Jenna Faith one, I'm like, who the fuck is Jenna Faith, right? Like, people are like, oh, I don't know, who the fuck is Jenna Faith? Let's find out, right? Why I broke off my engagement and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I want to know why she did that, right? So write first. This is, I think, where a lot of people get tripped up, is they want to come up with a title first, or the subject line first, or, the blog title first. Write first. Write the thing that you want to write, and then pull out that piece that's like, ooh, that's juicy. Ooh, this is mysterious. This is going to create some curiosity in my post. So then you can just pull out like a line or a section of your actual post and put that at the top. I did one like this yesterday where the last line of my post was, when you play small, you fall flat, something along those lines. And I actually just took that and added to the top. So I had the same line at the top as I did at the bottom, because that's what I thought would be curious for people and would pull them in. So write first. And then once you write, you can take out those like power moments and say, okay, what's going to create some curiosity here with people? Jen says, my writing coaching was more about doing something I'm good at and skills versus being me. Yeah. A lot of people make that mistake. It's like, I did this in corporate. I, did sales in corporate. I did HR in corporate. I did this in corporate. So I might as well turn that into a business, which I think could be okay for in the beginning, right? But at some point you're going to be like, I just want to do what I feel really good about doing. I just want to do what I'm passionate and my purpose is. Joanne says, yes, people are generally curious. Elisa says, write first. Yes. And often people don't write what they really want to say in the beginning. So move it around. Yes, exactly. All right, so questions. Cami says, what is too much to share? I'll type in here for you. I typically share this verbally with my clients, but actually writing it for the world to see and having it unattached to me feels scary. Should I type this out or leave the full story for my inner circle? I just say vague things like, I used to do drugs. Also, there's some weirdness for me about my parents knowing this. So I already mentioned, Cami, like, Facebook, social media is a little harder to, keep people out of, right? Because we talked about this yesterday where like people will screenshot your shit and then share it. But if you have somebody on your email list that you're like, I don't want them to see this, just remove them. Just remove them. Keisha says, people aren't curious, they're nosy as fuck. That's the word I was looking for, right? Like nosy, right? Okay, so here's what I would do, Cami. Remember, whatever part of your story that you now feel comfortable sharing, you can share. If you don't feel 100% comfortable about sharing these parts of your story, don't do it yet. You want to also share the part of your story, but then also share how you overcame it, right? So you wouldn't just say like, I'm trailer park trash who used to smoke crack. I mean, maybe you would, right? But you want to get like, that would create some serious curiosity, right? But only if there's a story to go with it, right? Like only if there was that outcome of like, here's me on the other side. But with that, it's like, are you okay with sharing this? Because if you're not, it's going to feel very contracting. If you're like, no, I want to share this. I've owned this part of who I am. I've made peace with this. I'm okay with people knowing it. And now I want to share the evolution of who I've become since this happened, right? So you just want to really get in touch with yourself first as far as what you're comfortable sharing, what you want to share, how you want to share it. But I don't think that, it's not too much. It's part of your story. It's part of your story. All right. Hopefully that helps, Cami. Kate says, I believe my soulmate clients are already in my life on my personal Facebook, but I'm wondering how to speak more directly to them so they follow the call to action to book the call. So we talked a little bit about this already with the go next level, right? So if right now they're here with you, they're not going to book the call. They're not going to, so you want to maybe start sharing more about your client's successes, share more about your successes, speak more with a little bit of authority. So they're like, oh shit, Kate has been able to do that. I want her to show me how to do that too, right? So just make sure that like if you have people that have just been kind of peers, right? They're not going to see the need to like want to pay you, right? For that. You feel comfortable. So share the pieces that you feel comfortable sharing. That would be my best advice, because then that's going to be, that's going to be the story. That's going to be the power. But if there's any part of you that shrinks or contracts when you think about people knowing this, you might not be ready to share it yet, right? And it doesn't mean that, like, here's the thing. I don't believe that you guys have to air out all of your dirty laundry. I don't believe that at all. You don't have to dig into your past and, you don't have to do that at all unless you want to. If you feel like it's a powerful piece of your story and you want to share it, then share it. If you feel like, people don't really need to know that, then that's cool. As long as you've made peace with it, right? And as long as you have an alignment with like, this is who I used to be and that's just not me anymore, then you're fine. You don't need to air your dirty laundry out. That's a misconception. I feel like a lot of people, feel like, oh my God, I have to tell people everything just because I'm a public figure. No, you don't. No, you don't. Kate says, my other question is how to speak to their pain points and interest without talking about these times, the Rona. I love how you say the Rona, because I do not want to come off as profiteering. So here's the thing. I stopped talking about the coronavirus like 4 weeks ago. I said what I needed to say about it. I let my audience know that, hey, I'm aware that this is happening. And then I just went about, doing what I always do. Sharing my light, sharing my gifts, sharing value, sharing my stories. And I haven't gotten any backlash from it, right? I got a backlash from somebody like maybe the week that we went on lockdown because she did not like the fact that I was selling. I'm like, okay. But other than that, it's like, if you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it. If you don't want to address it, don't address it. I mean, it's pretty much like, I don't know about you guys, but in my opinion, I kind of feel like it's kind of fading. It's kind of like, okay, well, everybody's just tired of talking about it by now, right? It's been 4 or 5 weeks. If I hear in these hard times one more time, Cami says, I feel comfortable sharing some of the, oh, I read that already. Keisha says, if I hear in these hard times one more time. So it's whatever you make it, right? So is this an opportunity? Is this a hard time? Is this an unprecedented, precedented? I get mixed up with my words sometimes. In history, right? It's whatever you want to say. It's whatever you think your audience is going to resonate with, right? All right. Elisa, what are the types of content we want to have? I already talked about this. Like a freebie to get an email. What else? I feel like I'm starting from scratch. So I'm open. How fancy does it need to be? Look, so Elisa, you're in PNP, so you have access to Captivate. I would go in Captivate because I have a whole thing on like the content you need to create for your business as a whole. So you can check that out. Sydney says, writing isn't my strength, so I always put it off to the last minute. Any tips on how to get inspired to write? I write because I enjoy writing. Some people do live streams because they enjoy live streams. Some people like meeting people in person, so they do in-person events or speaking. Find your thing. What is the thing that you enjoy doing, and do that. You don't have to write. If you're not a writer, don't write. You don't even have to write a newsletter. If you're like, you know what, I'd rather just do a bunch of live streams, then you can just send a newsletter to your list that's like, hey, check out the 2 live streams that I did this week. Send, that's it. You're still, I'm sorry, I said PMP Afia, but I meant Online Empress Academy. So yeah, if writing's not your thing, don't write. If you like to speak, do a podcast. If you like to be in person, do more in-person events. If you know, for me, I love writing. So I'm going to always write, right? But I don't think that everybody has to do that if that's not your strength. So PMP is, sorry, we used to be PMP. We are Online Empress Academy now. And basically what it is it's all of these courses. So I do one of these intensives every month. And you get access to every single intensive for a small monthly fee. That's what Online Empress is about. Yes, that's a good idea too. Melissa says you can use Rev for transcription. I actually like Temi because it's like 1/10 of the cost. TEMI. I think Rev is like $1 a minute and Temi is like 10 cents a minute. So yeah, transcription. Yeah, guys, look into Temi, TEMI. But yeah, that's a great idea too. Speak it, use your phone, say whatever you need to say, have your VA edit it and transcribe it. Christine says, yes. Someone else says, how are you using your free time during quarantine? I'm working. If you don't like to write, dictate your email. Yes, exactly. Oh, do they? Yeah, I've been using Temi and it's okay. I like it. You can also use Google Docs to turn on the transcription features and it types out as you speak. So there's ways around it. Right? But also, you know, ultimately my thing is just do what you like to do. Because then you're not going to have the resistance there. Nessie says, not sounding like it's always business. So we talked about this with just the different types of content. Right? So posting about, you know, celebrating your clients, posting your value post, posting your story post, sharing a selfie, sharing a picture with you and your family, talking about your lifestyle. So you just want to just have a really good mixture and, you know, like having all of these pieces together. So that way people actually see you as a human versus a dictionary, right? Or an encyclopedia, because that's boring if we're always just like, boom, boom, boom. Like, here's the tips, here's the strategies, here's the things, here's the, like, remember, we want to make people feel something. We want to get people to move. Okay. I think that was all the questions. So if you guys have more questions, pop them in here. We're at 3:15. Okay. So we're not too bad today. I think that's it. All right. Any other questions, guys? I don't necessarily have any homework for you guys today. Just kind of think about like what kinds of content you want to put out there, rotating your content. Make sure pre-work is done. Make sure that you're, if you didn't watch the masterclass, watch that because I do talk about how to actually leverage your actual profile. And what else? So tomorrow we're not live. Tomorrow I will drop our day 3 content right inside the group. Okay. And then we're back Monday live. All right. Other questions before I go? I just realized I have this like giant crack in my cup, and I'm surprised it's not leaking all over the place. Andrea says, this was exactly what I needed. You're welcome, my dear. You are welcome. I talked a lot. I talked for 75 minutes straight, guys. All right. Hiring others. How do you do this? Okay, so that's not really a question for this program, Afia. We're just talking about, visibility and things like that. Yeah, visibility and content. So that would be for another program. That would be a question for another program. All right, guys. Anything else on content? What you're putting out there, visibility, showing up, anything like that? That was weird. My house is making noise. You're welcome, Melissa. All right, guys. So I am going to go. If you're here watching the replay, make sure that you play along and you also post your comments in here as well. And if you guys have any other questions, you can also feel free to pop them in the group, tag me, so I know and so I see it, but I'm always kind of in and out of the group anyway. So guys, have an amazing Saturday. I will see you guys Monday. Tomorrow, we're just going to drop content, so be on the lookout for that. I tag everybody anyway when I drop the content, so I'll have that, and then Monday we're back here live. So I will see you guys later. Bye.